tested a brand new opening for black, the Scandinavian defense, and it completely blew my expectations. In these 6 games against opponents of increasing strength, I will show you the main attacking plan, how to punish the 4 sidelines, and why this might become your next secret weapon. First game, we play the Scandinavian defense, or better should I say the Scandinavian attack. Because yes, we are going to play this opening super aggressive. What is the idea of this opening? At move 1, I have tried to trade a central pawn for another central pawn, but I'm not taking back with the queen immediately, but playing knight f6, because I want to recapture this pawn with the knight. Now usually, yes, they always like trades. Beginners in chess love to trade, because it simplifies the position. It's a bit easier to deal with all the complexity of this game. But it has a downside, and the downside is that this queen on the center of the board is now very strong. Usually you say, don't go out with the queen too early. But if the queen cannot really be attacked in the center of the board, well, now the queen is attacked, but by a pawn, and by a pawn that is now stopping the bishop. And there is a very powerful square for the queen to go, which is h5. What is the plan of this opening? I want to go out with the pieces on the queen side first. First the knight on c6, then the bishop on g4 usually, and then we castle long. This is a very strong plan because it's also playing for the center. Once we castle long, the rook is joining the d file, so it will be very hard for white to play the typical move d4, taking full control over the center. Now we place our bishop strong and beautiful on g4. And look at this. Usually once the bishop goes on g4, there is a typical move, h3. Saying to the bishop, goodbye. Now you should move one more time. But since our queen is on h5, the pawn cannot take this bishop because the rook on h1 would be hanging. So very important to notice. That's why now we don't have to move the bishop. Also because if we would, the queen is x-raying the white bishop. So very dangerous, lots of discovery attacks could happen. What do? We keep going with our plan. What's our plan? To play the move long castle, and then maybe to play even the move e5. So let's start with long castle. I'm shortly considering double checking something. Yes, we will go with the move long castle. And now I'm thinking like, yes, they cannot take this bishop, but what if they castle? Because now my bishop is actually hanging, since the rook here is no longer hanging. And if I move my bishop, then the queen is still in an uncomfortable square. That's why I'm gonna take. And the whole point of here, I think black should have an advantage. And this due to the fact that black has better control over the center. Now my queen and my bishop are both under attack. And I'm going to move the queen to a square where the queen is also defending the knight. Because I don't want them to take and have to take back with the pawn. 2 double pawns would be very weak because my king would be weak. Okay, bishop here is giving a check. I could move the king away, but I will play a simple development move. Why is this a development move? Because it's opening up the way for my beautiful, beautiful bishop. Now, and this is the full idea of this line, we go for opposite side castling. I'm castled on the queen side, they are castled on the king side. And in this type of positions, we are going to push all the pawns on the opposite side of where the opponent king is. The idea is that we want to trade our pawns for their pawns, open up the file where the king is, and then strike with the strong pieces. The rook, the queens, the queen, and so on. So let's start with h5. This pawn is not hanging because it's protected twice, attack twice. Ooh, intermezzo. Okay, the bishop is attacking the queen. Now I have many really many options. I could move the queen to pretty some squares. For example, here, this pawn is still protected, but I might simply go with my queen back here because I say, like, I don't mind about that pawn being captured. That's an option. On the other side, I think I can just centralize my queen. Very beautiful square, because if the bishop comes here, we are literally giving mate. And now they have to move this bishop. They have to. And how to defend this? They have to play g3, right? But then I'm playing h4. Okay, let's go threaten a beautiful, nasty checkmate. g3. Oh, g3 had to be played. The battery is too strong. GG's. Quick analysis. The only defense in this position for white is the move g3. Blocking the queen and the bishop. But there are two strong ideas that black can use to keep going with the attack. Number one, h4. We are directly pursuing our plan, wanting to trade off this pawn. If white let us do that, they are lost. Because we are gonna take, pawn takes, slide in with the queen, and then the next move is gonna be made. So, bishop f4 is a possible move by white, attacking the queen and the bishop behind. But even if they manage to trade off that bishop, the attack here is still going on very strongly. The queen is attacking this pawn, the queen is attacking this pawn together with the rook, and the biggest problem here is that the move c4 played by white has been a mistake and has left some squares, the dark squares, weak forever. Let's make them in red. And here especially, two knight jumps are very powerful, knight on e5 and knight on d4, attacking the bishop, the pawn, all the squares around the king. And at any point, if white is not blocking here and then losing really a pawn, black could always take, open up the h5, h3 is falling, the rook is joining. Also, one more idea is to join with the rook, then play the move f5. This position is not fun for white. Second plan, maybe even stronger, is to go immediately with the knight here. We're attacking the bishop, and there is a sneaky reason, because after the bishop is moving back, it seems like, ooh, the bishop is keeping everything solid. Now we go with the move h4. And now, if they dare to play this move, look at the evaluation bar. Yeah, because we have an in-between check, the king is moving, we take the bishop, the pawn is taking, we take with the queen, and GG's. We checkmate. Second game, higher rating, here we go again with the Scandinavian. And they play the move e5. Attention to this move, because that's a mistake. And you need to know how to exploit it. We go out with the bishop, and then we're going to build a massive center to attack their massive center, but with an important improvement compared to the Caro-Kann and the French defense, these openings both have a very similar structure. Now we play the move c5, and what we're doing, we are attacking this central pawn, which is protecting this other central pawn, meaning that somebody is getting really, really weak, the center of them. Now we got checked, so we are defending with the knight, and now already this pawn is attacked once, 2 times, and is protected once, 2, and 3 times. But we can attack it still so many times. For example, the knight usually goes here, and then the knight might go there. We might move the bishop here, or we might simply pin this knight. I will play here the move queen b6, which is attacking the bishop plus attacking the pawn on d4, plus also putting pressure on that pawn. So it's not gonna be super easy for them to develop this bishop. There is an important difference between this position and the Caro-Kann and the French. In the French, you get the similar position, but the bishop is here crying because there's nothing to do in their life. In the Caro-Kann, this pawn has been pushed first on c6 and then goes on c5. So we have an happier piece compared to the French, and we have an extra tempo compared to the Caro-Kann. So this is really a great advantage to have. Now we will keep going with our development. Unless we can take this pawn. Doesn't seem so, so we will just bring the knight out, supporting the other knight. And what are they going to play here? Castle is a very normal move. Now we will play the move a6, which is asking a very simple question. What do you want to do with your bishop? I'm threatening to take that bishop, not with the pawn, because the rook would be hanging, but I was threatening to take it with the queen. Now I take back with the knight. The knight is attacking that pawn one more time. And the beauty of this position is that all my pieces are now smiling. This bishop is not yet, but has a very bright future. Usually they say that once you have a block center, there is always a bad bishop and a good bishop. The good and the bad cop. So this one is the bad one, because usually is blocked behind the pawn chain and doesn't have a good square to go. But since the bishop is outside, we have just two happy pieces. And talking about happy pieces, can we make our queen even happier by taking that free cheese macaroni? So usually the b2 pawn is something that you should be careful of, because can be a strength, but can be a weakness. In this case, I think I'm gonna snap it right, because I see a beautiful tactic. So what can happen is that your queen there can end up being trapped. Imagine attacked by the rooks. But cannot I simply play this move, bishop c2? And I have a question for you. Where is the queen moving? The queen has no square to go. No. Not here, not there, not here, not there, not here, not there. Nowhere. So there is just one move that I see right now. And this is the move knight b3. But even in that case, I can maybe play just the move b5. And again, the queen is running out of squares. Okay. I understand their idea. They want to say like, okay, take the queen, we take your queen. And now we have a few options. First of all, we can take this pawn. Sorry, this knight with the pawn. But if the queen is taking, then the queen is getting some squares to escape. Second option is, we can first sacrifice our queen for their rook, and then try to take this queen. But we have to be very careful, because after this, they are not forced to take back. They could take this bishop, or they could take here with check. And the move that is scaring me a little bit is after queen takes c2. And then my queen is suddenly out of squares. So definitely we don't take the rook here. And so we just play the simplest move, which is very strong. We win a piece in one move. We take the free knight. And we are +3 right now. And this position is not without risks. We still have to be a little bit careful, because our queen is... I'm kidding. We don't have to be careful. Now we have an extra queen. They should have taken the pawn. Because the queen was in a bad spot, could be attacked by many pieces. Now we are taking this other pawn, attacking the rook. We take also the rook, because why not? And we take also this pawn, attacking the knight, attacking the bishop. Why not taking also this knight? And that was enough. GG's. This is something that you must know. This is the Tennison Gambit. They are sacrificing a pawn and they want to set up a trap. Little spoiler, I will not fall for the trap, but I want to show you. Here, if you simply defend this pawn with the knight, white wants to play d3, wanting to trade this pawn to activate the bishop. And now, the most natural move to kick this knight away is a huge blunder. Because there is the brilliant knight sacrifice on f7, attacking the queen, attacking the rook. The king has to take, and now I think this is called interballistic missile attack. The bishop is smashing, giving a check. The king has to move, and now goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend. Please subscribe to never forget this. In this position, I decided I was considering to defend this pawn, but I was thinking about this other way. And I think I'm going to do that. I defend the pawn with the bishop, so after d3 I'm gonna take, and if they take with the bishop, we trade off all the pieces, and I have an extra pawn. This is a good way to treat this position. Also, this knight has no square to go, so if we are able to attack it, we are doing quite fine. Okay, they are attacking it one more time. I'm able to defend it with the knight. Very good. 2 attackers, 2 defenders. And still my plan to go for long castle is still working. Now they're attacking this pawn, but I have a simple way to defend it, pushing e6. And now this is beautiful because we have again an upgraded position. Because we have pushed the e6 pawn, and usually in many openings you do so, but your bishop is there on c8, sad, crying, without a future. Instead, now the bishop is again powerful, strong, defending this pawn. And we are a pawn up. We have a clean extra pawn. And not just that. Because now that we say to this knight, thank you for your service. You did absolutely nothing. The knight has just 1 square left, which is h3, meaning that we can just snap it, and we are weakening massively the king side. And then we can proceed with our procedure. The Scandinavian attack. Probably we will attack on the dark squares. I can imagine something like knight c6, queen d5, bishop here, let's take here, and then we play knight c6. And then I can see how we can build a battery with the queen and with the bishop. Queen here, bang, bang, boom. This is a possible plan. And the problem is that it's not that simple for them to do something about it. For example, already now the queen comes here with tempo, attacking the bishop. So probably the bishop might go back over there, which is a smart square. At least they are pinning the knight, you know. And the queen is also protecting this pawn a second time, just in case. What is also a possible idea is to somehow bring this knight towards f3. Because once this pawn is no longer there, this square is also very weak. Now, since they pinned us, we cannot do that anymore, but we will just develop the bishop. Keep going for our plan. We are simple players. We just want to checkmate the king. We don't want too many special things. Now they take, we take back. Now long castle is no longer special anymore because we have double pawns, and the king here is weak because it's not shielded well by the pawns. But still, how are they gonna defend? This is really not an easy thing to do because this pawn cannot really, well, this pawn can be pushed once we move the queen. Now cannot because the queen is pinning the pawn. Oh my god. Have you seen that? Have you seen that? I had pre-moved queen takes and they moved just a few... Oh my cheese macaroni. I just blundered. I was just about to blunder. Huge. Okay. It didn't happen, so we're happy. What are they doing here? They're attacking this pawn. Is this really attacked? No. No, because it's protected twice. I might just castle here, because if I play the move queen e5, there is a problem that they can play f4. And if I take en passant, they can trade off the queens. And I don't want that. I want to attack. I want to checkmate them. So one possible plan is to bring the knight to the attack. This is a possibility. Or also to bring the knight like this. But every time I move this knight, this pawn is no longer protected. So I need to be a little bit more careful. And I will start by castling the king. The nice part is that they cannot fully develop their pieces easily. Because if they do this, I'm gonna trade my weak pawn. I'm also opening a little bit more possibility. For example, my queen could go on h4. And most importantly, I don't have to worry anymore about this pawn. So my knight can start to go to better square, to more aggressive squares. And also, if white would have just waited, I could have tried to improve my rooks. For example, rook b8, rook d8, maybe double up the rooks. It would be lovely to be able to bring somehow the rook somewhere here around, but we were not able to do so right now. Now, we don't trade the queens for the same reason we have been mentioning before. I could go here threatening checkmate, but then the pawn is pushed. And I don't really have a strong follow-up, even if I'm really weakening the king massively. So I might as well do that. Okay, see, yes, see. I was about to speak Italian. I'm Italian, by the way. Do you guys speak Italian? Ciao, parli italiano. I will teach you a new word today. And the word is anguilla. It's a word that you will never use. But yeah, anguilla. I don't know, it's a fun word. I don't know why this is the first Italian word that came to my mind. Anyway, chess. Let's talk about chess. If they play f4, which is pretty much the only sensible move, they could also play queen g3, but I really don't like that because I will be moving my queen away and then the bishop is attacking the queen, so they have to move again. Now my queen is getting to a square where the queen really wanted to be, attacking this pawn. And then you just have to move the queen again. A possible idea can be to play queen g6 at some point, giving a check and looking at this pawn, which is a free cheese macaroni. And also my plan to bring somehow the rooks would be lovely, but it's not that simple because these squares are controlled by this knight. So we need to find better ideas. So one idea, now this queen is attacking this pawn, is to play knight there. And you might say like, oh, but they can trade. I'm happy if they can trade because every time you have double pawns, you're very happy to undouble them. It's like if you are upgrading a pawn. And I still have extra material. I have one extra pawn. Not simple to win with an extra pawn, but hey, if I can get to an endgame, I should be able to... We will not get to an endgame because we just napped this pawn. They're tricky, but it's not gonna work. I think they just want to take here and give me mate. I think that's their plan. But I have 5 seconds to take that pawn. If not, they will not see it. Okay. If they would have taken threatening mate, I have a very simple defense, queen e5, protecting the mate, and I would be fine. If I really need to, because I can't defend the pawn, I can also play g6, and then they take my rook, I take back, and I would have taken 2 minor pieces for a rook. 3 plus 3, 6, better than 5. So anyway, is good. Now, this move, not that convincing. You know what? I will bring... Oh no, wait, I need to defend this pawn. So I will play bishop here, wanting to trade the bishop, because why not? And also, I'm basically defending the pawn at the same time. Once they take, I take back with the knight, attacking the queen, and approaching the king with my knight. Now I can go for 2 strategies at the same time. I will try to trade pieces, and at the same time approach the king. So either I trade or I checkmate them. Let's see what will be the end of this game. All right. Takey, the queen has to move. Will the queen take that pawn? That's dangerous because I'm going to take this other one. They don't, and they are attacking this knight with the queen. I will just play the move e5, protecting this knight with the pawn, and the knight is so strong there because, okay, I was expecting this move. I will go back with the queen over here. Now, I'm threatening to take this pawn, but also there is always the threat of knight e2 check, forking the queen and the king. Keep in mind, every time the queen is on g3 in front of the king, knight e2 is something that you always want to check. You don't want to allow that move, right? So what I do here, if they take this pawn, I take back with the queen. That's protected. So I really don't know what I should play here. All right, b4 allows us to go for this beautiful fork. It simplifies the position even more because they have to take, and then I'm taking back with my queen. Or maybe not. They move the king away, meaning that we can take the queen. And then I will also be able to... Don't pre-move, guys. Okay, so this is still okay because after the king is taking, we are taking this rook. Oh, they just abandoned. Wow. But after this, we can still take here and we are still a rook up. But hey, why did we have to do that? Do not pre-move unless you are 100% sure. Here we go again, Scandinavian. And my opponent played the move Queen f3. What is this? I'm very happy to take back this pawn. I traded off a central pawn and now there is this queen in the middle of the board. Doing what exactly? I'm able to develop my knight with tempo. The queen has to move one more time. Now, I was shortly tempted to develop my knight with tempo, but that would hang a pawn. So maybe this is the trap that they are trying to do. I will just go with a pawn in the center of the board, take control, and I will go there just a little later. Now I will go out with the knight, since they have been moving this bishop, which I think would have been over here in a very good spot. What are they doing? What is even this? I understand that the knight didn't have the most natural square, but this comes to a very high cost. I will go with the bishop out. I'm just simply developing all my pieces. And I'm so tempted, and I will do it, to go with the bishop here. Again, I'm developing, attacking the queen one more time, and winning so much time with this queen, moving around. Now, if the queen goes there, they are lost, because I'm pushing this pawn, attacking the queen with the bishop, and then taking this bishop. Maybe they are not lost just yet, because the queen could have gone here, and this pawn is pinned. But now I will castle, so there will be some nasty threats. The knight is going forward and is threatening nothing because this pawn is well protected. So I will say like, adios amigos. This is just a free cheese macaroni. Be careful once you start things that seem aggressive. You need to count the attackers and the defenders, because you don't want to just lose material like this. Now, after knight takes, I will take with the king, and I have a full extra piece. There is just one tricky move that is still to be played, and this queen e4 check, because the queen is giving a check, plus attacking this bishop. But I do have a defense. Do you see it? So if I move this bishop back, they take it. But I can go with the pawn, attack the queen one more time, and the bishop is happily married. No, I'm kidding, happily protected by the pawn. So the queen has to move back. Why not? Let's attack the queen one more time. Let them feel the pain of moving the queen out too early. I'm now going out with the queen. Now it's a good moment. I have fully developed all my pieces. Now I have a huge threat. Plus the queen there cannot be attacked. Well, can be attacked. Okay, now, very nice example of Swiss cheese. Swiss cheese is this beautiful cheese called Emmental, full of holes, which reminds me of this position for white, full of holes. And what usually you do to exploit this situation is to sneak in with the bishop and with the queen. So I really want to go with my queen on g2. That's why they have to sacrifice. Yeah, they have to sacrifice a rook for my strong bishop, but it's not over, and it's not over because they are really, look at that, look at these pieces. They are not playing at all, so the threat is huge. Now I'm threatening to go back here with the queen, sorry, with the rook, which is a huge threat. This bishop can give you a very annoying check. This knight can jump forward, attacking the queen, wanting to give a check. This game won't last long, I promise. The king is moving forward, trying to block the rook from joining, but this is running into a very big problem. I'm giving a check. The king doesn't have many squares. And if the queen is covering, there is a very typical tactic. I can take now here. And attention, if the king goes there, it's checkmate in one move. The rook slides here and gives mate. Only square to go with the king, but now the knight. Oh my gosh, this is not just winning the queen, this is a checkmate. That's beautiful. I have never seen this move with the Scandinavian, and it's really bad because I can simply develop this knight attacking the queen and counter-attacking his pawn, so I'm winning a free cheese macaroni at move 2. Queen h5 is usually bad, but in the Scandinavian is horrible. Now I'm taking with the pawn, and it's very nice because I'm controlling the square where the knight would like to go out. Alright, now they're offering a trade of pawns. I could trade it, but I will actually go out with my beautiful bishop attacking the queen one more time. Very good. They move the queen again. And now I'm taking. If they dare to move the bishop away, they are in huge trouble. So I will go out with my knight. Very typical. Now my bishop is under attack. I will go back with the bishop. I will go back with the bishop. And my plan is to go for a long castle, right? So I would like to bring the queen out at some point. Attention here, there is a big threat. They want to come here and trap my bishop. But they haven't developed their pieces in good squares. So this is a problem for them. I will play queen. I will not play queen d5 because I'm attacking the rook, but the knight can just go out and cover. So don't I have a better way? You know what? I will just get rid of the bishop, and taking with the pawn is not just horrible, it's disgusting. I'm sorry. I will go now with the knight here, and I'm threatening a royal fork, also involving the poor rook. So how do they defend? Knight here? Then I have e6. My bishop is looking at the knight and threatening it to death. Because I'm very happy to take it, since I would give a fork. Now, I can't really do that because the queen is covering, but I will go out with the queen. And there is a huge difference by me going out with the queen and them going out with the queen. This queen has been moving so many times, attacked by my pieces. Instead, my queen here is so strong, cannot be attacked. They don't have a light square bishop, right? And I'm also in a perfect moment to prepare long castle. So the queen is getting out of the way, and now I can finally go for long castle. Now, how do we perform an attack, and in which direction do we go? The king is not castled, and the king is not going to be safe anywhere because they can no longer castle short, luckily for them, and they shouldn't really castle long. So what we need to try to do is to open up the center because the king is staying there. And is there a better move than e5 to open up the center? I want to trade off the pawn and then try to bring my other rook on the open file. At any moment I can try to... Okay, I will just take this pawn, because why not? At any point I can try to take this pawn, like just now. Very important to make sure that my knight is also defended. But I think now they have to move the king away. And I will do something very, very, very nasty. I will bring my rook here, and I'm threatening checkmate. And the moment they take this knight, you see here, this would have been checkmate because the knight is looking at these two squares. The moment they take, I could simply trade off, right? This is simple. But I think I have even better. I can give a check over here. And the rook behind... Oh, wait, no, the rook behind is not hanging. I'm sorry about that. But this was all calculated. Copy. No, it was not. I'm taking this pawn with check, and the king is running out of squares. Oh, actually, this is beautiful. And the king doesn't have many squares left. The king has to go down there. But do you see the checkmate then? I'm taking this... Oh. It's just direct. Okay, very good. Checkmate. And if the king would have moved to c1. I can take, now that can cover with the bishop or with the rook, and then another beautiful checkmate. GG's. New game, higher rating. For the first time, we have a new variation. After taking the pawn on d5, they are not capturing and they are playing the move d3. They want to go for very quick development. And this is the right approach. But I'm going out with my knight, controlling the square. And I want to develop this bishop before being able to play the move e6. So I have to go with the bishop here, since the bishop there would be hanging. And oh, I wasn't expecting this move, and this move is definitely bad. This pawn is controlling the square where the knight would like to go. So now I will go with the move e5. I'm already starting to smell some queen h4, dangerous. Now it doesn't work because this knight would be left hanging, but I'm going to just develop my beautiful bishop. I like it here because we are looking at f2 is not, there is no threat right now, but actually there is a threat. Maybe something like knight e3 is already a fun idea. Attacking the queen has to move away. Let's keep it simple. I will go backwards with this bishop. Why? Because this bishop here is doing really nothing. And what I want to do is to be able to go free with my queen, potentially also on h4, checking the king, weakening the king really, really massively. I love this position, and what my opponent did very bad is that they didn't take care about the king. It's gonna be really hard in the next few moves to castle the king into a safe spot, because the king is never gonna castle short, because this bishop is a monster, blocking that for a very long time. This king cannot castle long, because they have already pushed the pawns where the king would like to be. And the king is definitely also not safe in the center of the board. So many problems. Now they are trying to get rid of my bishop, which is a monster. A very strong piece. But this is also costing lots of time because the knight has to spend so much time to take it. I will go with the queen out, giving this check, and now you already see lots of problems. If they play the common move g3 to stop that check, also one of the two only moves, then my queen goes back here attacking this pawn. And the moment I take that pawn, I'm attacking the rook, threatening mate, and the rook doesn't have many squares. This bishop is also covering one square. Okay, so bishop g2 was a must play move, but now I have a stratospheric move, knight e3. This is a fork, and the only way not to lose lots of material is to take this knight with the bishop. But that leaves me with a monster, a Godzilla. Please subscribe if you agree that this bishop is a Godzilla. Controlling all the dark squares, and nobody can kick this bishop away. No single piece. This means that the king is stuck in the middle of the board, and what we need to try to do right now is to castle, bring our king to safety, bring the rooks to the open file, and then open up the center. Probably by playing the move e4 or by playing the move knight d4, trying to open up files. Let's see what they come up with. They need to come up with a plan to get rid of this bishop. Let's see. They move the knight away, and probably what they want is to play queen e2, attacking this bishop, and then castle long. That's why I am just in this precise position going for short castle. My king is super safe there, and the only way they can castle the king is long. This will give me... Oh, this move is a mistake, because now this knight is attacked by the bishop, protected by the knight. But I can... Oh no, I can't. I wanted to attack with the move b5. But the knight is actually taking. So, good job. Rook b1 is unpinning this knight, so that if I play b5, the knight can take. So it's time to play simple. I will just bring my rook on the e file. What I would like the game to open up. Okay, knight here is looking at this pawn and looking at my bishop. This is the only case where I'm fine giving away this bishop if the e-file is getting opened up. But let's see if I really need to do that. How can I defend this pawn in a sensible way? Okay, I will go back with my queen. And what's the idea? That the moment I take this bishop, I take back with the queen. Maybe. I might even take with the pawn or with the knight. So if I take with the pawn, the rook is looking at... Yeah, this is just too strong. There are two strong pieces on the e-file where my rook is. And the bishop has millions of discovery attacks. And now my bishop is sneaking all the way there. And there is a rook and there is a queen under attack. So we sacrificed our Godzilla, but for a higher purpose. Open up the e-file and suddenly all the tactics are flowing in our favor. We take this rook, we are very happy, and now we have to convert this position where we have a very nice advantage. A rule of thumb in every position is play with all your pieces, improve every single piece. What are the pieces that are not really playing for us? This rook, definitely, and this knight. Why this knight? Because it's staring at a pawn. It's staring at a pawn that cannot be taken. This knight would love to be here. How can we bring the knight there? Bim, boom, bam. Lovely. How can we activate this rook? Well, probably by double up two rooks on the open file. Usually rooks love open files. And in this position, there is just one. That's why we will try to bring both of them. Double them up. Very good. If the bishop is taking, we take back with the queen. This is a very logical move. But just attacking a pawn, we can simply protect it by pushing. I'm just making sure that there are no threats. If the knight goes here, attacking my queen, I can still move my queen one step up, where the queen is still protecting the knight. Okay, they are going on the side of the board, attacking this pawn. I have many moves here, but I will do something very spicy. I will bring the rook. Yes, this is beautiful. There are so many tactics that I'm threatening. I'm threatening to take this bishop. What I want to do is, after king takes, to sneak my knight, trade off some pieces. And once the knight is here, I win back the rook. So it's just a trade. All right, we might get to see that, unless we have something even stronger. I think this is absolutely great. It simplifies the position, trades off pieces, and leaves us to an endgame where we have a rook for a knight. It's not still simple to win, but I will try to show you the simpler way to do so. First of all, we gotta bring this rook to the game. So I will bring the queen up, controlling all the light squares. This knight doesn't have a square to go back, so they have to push this pawn at some point to give this knight some sort of future. But what am I doing? The queen is sneaking here, and then this rook. Ooh, okay, wait a second there, because they're attacking this pawn. But I might just give checkmate. I will let them take the pawn. Yes, I will sacrifice this pawn because I want to get to the king. The threats are big. Because queen and rook are so powerful, and after queen check, if the king goes here, the rook can slide in. If the king goes there, this pawn is falling, and then the rook will be able to slide in, or the queen will jump here protected by the rook. All right, they are taking the pawn, the poison pawn. So we slide the queen here, giving a check. There are two squares where the king can go. If the king goes here, it's checkmate in two moves. Rook check, king goes there, and checkmate. If the king goes there, this should also be checkmate in a few moves. I take here, giving a check. If the king goes up, it's mate in one. And we have it. GG's. If you enjoyed this video, you should check out this one. I tested the trickiest gambit in chess against 1d4. This opening has a very controversial reputation. Should you play it? Check it out. Ciao!